Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to War in the Soul City. Tonight, our coterie has finally gotten back together again after Dana, Malice, and Ken have taken it upon themselves to investigate what may have happened to their compatriot Liv. After doing some scouring in the Anarch domain, finding clues and evidence of another murder by the Anarchs, these three make their way quickly out of Anarch domain lest they be caught with their tail between their legs and be gunned down for it. Meanwhile, Rodney was spending time with his brethren amongst the Nosferatu, most descendants of the esteemed Sheriff Galvin, one of many descendants of the great Nosferatu who's built many, many safe havens in the past and present, if rumors are to be believed. But Rodney coming back to this place with the Ghoul of Malice Guy in tow and taking a break from all of the rock dust and building that he's been doing with his Nosferatu brethren, instructing them, guiding them, doing some construction work himself. He's taking a breather, possibly for the rest of the night. But this is where we find ourselves. The dig crew, the coterie, together once more to speak about the different things.
As soon as we get back to the coterie house, if Malice sees Guy, he's going to take some time to feed him.
Feed him what exactly?
I don't think he finished off everything from the previous night, so it's back to the blender and the tubing.
Yes, because this particular ghoul of yours no longer has much in the way of a throat. He can breathe, and he can walk, somehow. But aside from that, he's lucky to be alive. But that brings the rest of you to this little coterie gathering place, and Dana is there, kind of looks as if she's mulling things around and maybe trying to figure something out of herself.
Rodney is covered from head to toe in dirt, in grime, in dust from digging. And he currently sits in front of a set of blueprints, just going over them, occasionally reaching over to give Charles a scritch on the head.
And Charles accepts the little scritches lovingly, demanding more each and every time. sometimes taking little playful nips at your finger.
Now, Charles. You have to focus.
Ow.
Yes, yes. He pets him again.
Almost as if by instinct, a little bit, he goes to kind of tackle your hand as if he's playing.
He just kind of plays with him. He rolls him over and scratches his belly, almost expecting Charles to come in with claws.
Oh, he's using back claws, front claws, everything. He's digging into that Nosferatu flesh of yours with everything that he's got. He knows what he wants.
And while he's playing with Charles there, he's still flicking through the blueprints.
While Malice is getting everything prepared, I guess you noticed Liv didn't return.
Yes.
She's not going to.
It is sad, but I expected as much.
Malice will relate everything from the premise, from finding the body and then the premonition that he's already shared with Dana and Ken,
Yeah.
and describing what he's assuming is Cameron, according to Dana, as the last sight.
Just out of character, I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know that you have ever even heard of this person, Cameron. That's certainly a new name to you.
To me?
Yeah, it's a new
He was
name to Rodney.
Yes, I do not know this person. Who is this Cameron? I feel horribly out of the loop.
That's the only source of information I have on this Cameron individual. Hell, it was a new name to me too, just a few hours ago.
Well, I believe we have many troubles. Malice, you are
Yes,
capable of keeping a secret, yes?
indeed.
So we're keeping
Rodney,
secrets now? Dana pipes up.
well, to ourselves. If you would come and join us, Dana, I would appreciate it.
I'll stay right here. Just stay it loud enough for me to hear, thanks.
This here, and he taps on the blueprints in front of him, is a job that I was requested to do by Sheriff Galvin.
Yeah.
It's a vault.
Okay.
Do you understand what Sheriff Galvin asking for a vault to be built potentially means?
He needs or wants something or someone kept safe.
It means he's expecting things to go south quickly and needs an escape route. Somewhere to hide.
Other than you're building this, what does that have to do with us?
I have felt the urge with previous nights to hedge our bets.
So you're making some alterations to these plans in an attempt to somehow include us?
Yes,
Was
a
that part
separate
of
room, if you will.
your original plan that you pitched to the sheriff?
Nope. This is for us.
So you're building it under the hotel then?
I'm building it as an attachment.
To the
The
sheriff's
already
vault.
Calling it the sheriff's vault is one thing.
to the already existing tunnels we have.
To the already existing tunnels in the city.
So let me get this straight. You're wanting to build a secret room that even the sheriff won't know about in the sheriff's vault should things go south. Not actually build it here where we actually have the freedom to do what as we like. Right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Do you think this is a bad idea?
I think it's a horrible idea. It's a great idea, but a horrible idea. See, you haven't. You, being a Nosferatu, may have already met the sheriff, but you don't know what he's capable of like I do. And believe me when I say that you don't want to. You don't want to step on the sheriff's toes, especially if it involves the prince, especially if it involves the seneschal.
My reasoning for building it attached to the sheriff's vault is it allows me to work on both at once. Otherwise, I will not have time. Do you understand? It is a risk that I am willing to take for the potential safety.
For our safety.
Yes. I don't think it has occurred to you, but each of our survival relies on each other.
And we'll die together too if you fail and actually get caught.
We'll die together if I don't do this. I'm sure. The
No,
fact
I'm,
that
Given
I've
the
been requested, I'm fairly sure means that things are going to the shit rather quickly. And with Liv gone,
given the rate at which the Anarchs are attacking and picking us off, it's only a matter of time before one of us is next.
exactly. We need somewhere to retreat that is not here, because I'm fairly sure they may narrow this place down reasonably quick. We use it regularly.
and that's what concerns me at this point.
Concerns me as well.
Many
So,
concerns. The ease with which they seem to be moving in and out of our domain and our territory is at least one cause for concern. Second, the ease with which they seem to be picking us off, getting a drop on us.
It's almost like they
Another.
know us. Isn't it?
it is.
That's what you're saying without really saying it, isn't it, Malice?
No, not so much that they know us, is that they're getting information from somebody that makes me a bit more uncomfortable. That it seems like they're having help from the inside, and I have no idea with who.
Well, I know what I'm tackling tonight, then. I'm gonna find our mole. So if you all don't mind, I'm gonna get to it. You know how to reach me if you need me.
Yeah, I do have a question before you run off, Dana. What do you know of Joseph and where he stays or lays his head?
Let's see. Thinking about it. Where he lays his head, I don't know. That's nobody who's in their right mind shares that information with anyone. The fact that all of us share a roof displays how much trust we all have for each other, doesn't it? But among anarchs, they don't. Because they don't trust each other. Why should they?
Is that something that we could use to our advantage?
That all of them sleep separately?
That they don't trust one another?
Perhaps. But what kind of distrustful seeds can you sow? That's the more important question. Not whether you can, but what you could. Because
If you happen to know of any locations that, oh, I don't know, suddenly just start getting set on fire and burning down around everyone's ears, there's distrust to be sowed.
well, the last place that we saw Joseph Gutenberg was at the last place we burnt down now, wasn't it?
That rundown mall?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, a few more things like that start happening in the anarchs and what they consider their safe houses. Might have more suspicion and sow a little more distrust.
The only thing that I know is that of a couple of meeting spots that maybe you could find someone at, but that's really about it. And who knows if they're even used anymore. My information's a little old at this point.
Yeah, but any information's better than none, and is at least a place for me to start.
What about you, Kenny Boy? You're the one who's come from them the most recently. Little turncoat. What do you know about some of these places?
What do I know about them? I know a few probably, but
That would be an intelligence politics. Intelligence politics. And if you have a specialty in anarchs, then use that too. There was maybe one place that you met people, but you've already tested that spot.
I know of one place, but we tested that spot already. We could go back and burn it down, but I don't know what that would accomplish.
Less place for him to hide is all I can think.
Well, it would certainly do that, but it would also mean that the cops are getting more involved in kindred affairs. We must still try and maintain this masquerade.
Does anybody in the city have their fingers in the police matters?
Rodney, if you want to make an intelligence politics, you can see if you know.
Would I know of anyone aside from myself that has their fingers in police matters?
Contacts and influence, probably not. I mean, you could make a roll for it, intelligence politics, to see if somebody's overtly using the police force, but Rodney, you haven't a clue. No one comes to mind that uses the yeah. Yeah, it's one of those. Nobody has come out and overtly said that they do.
Let me check something real quick. I think I'm at hunger too.
Rodney's not a socialite, so he really wouldn't know much about how that side of things functions in the Camarilla.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just like, maybe somebody's got their fingers in that pie, and if not, that's a problem because that leaves an opening for the Anarchs.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
No one comes to mind that overtly has stated that they have a lot of fingers in the police force. But you have a suspicion that there may be a couple of other kindred who might have dabbled. You can't be 100% certain, though, because no one's come out and actually said.
So nobody knows them. None of us know.
I have some old contacts, but I don't really know of any. No one has told me specifically they've got their fingers in which pies.
The only person that comes to mind, Malice, is the High
Yeah.
Clan Plurmagen Moses Heifetz. Since he's so strict about the traditions, he might have a law bent. You don't really know for sure. And it's because he's new to the city that nobody really knows for sure.
I would share this information with Rodney, and it's only speculation at best, but High Clan Primogen Moses Heifetz might be a potential. But again, as I say, it's only speculation.
Somebody to speak to, then, perhaps.
Well, I'm already booked up for tonight. I'm
Yes.
gonna catch you all some other time. I've got some things to do.
Stay safe,
Thank
Dana.
you. Thank you for the information. Watch your ass.
You watch where's closer. And she goes towards making her way towards the exit.
Where it needs to be. Guys fed. Unless either of you have anything you require of me, I have some things to attend to myself.
I wanted to try something. See if I could help with you, Malice.
You mentioned Primogen Moses. Do you perhaps know where I might find him?
Would I have any information on this? Or what do I need to roll to see if I have any clue?
You know that if you were to go to Elysium, there's the likelihood that somebody might be able to pass along a message to him if he's not there himself, but
Oh, that's anybody in Kindred Society for
that's
us right now.
anybody in court. Most everyone has been keeping their business to themselves otherwise.
I
Because
would again, yeah, I would again pass that on to Rodney. Your
Mm.
best bet is to get to court. Uh, hope he's there, and if not, find somebody that could pass along a message that you're trying to reach out. Maybe potentially set up a meeting. Beyond that, I don't know. Um, Relatively new, too new to really know much about.
And yet he's a primogen.
I didn't make the call.
All right. I will see what I can do there. If we can get the police force off of our backs, that should free up some movement for us. Maybe if we can redirect them to the animals, that can restrict their movement some.
That's one way of going about this. Mouth is going to excuse himself for a moment and go to his room and change clothes.
anyone who wants to can make me a wits insight.
All right.
Wits.
Uh, that's 3 successes.
Okay. So
I
it's
got a
three.
messy critical.
Oh, on how many? How many?
That'd be 4.
Oh, that's 4. Okay. So it strikes you as strikes Malice and Rodney with the okay. Well, if the Anarchs are already restricted as it is, maybe the police force is already being tasked and vigilant of any kind of uncouth behavior in the Flowwood neighborhood. But can you start to think about it, and you thinking on Primogen Heifetz, just thinking on this whole situation in general, there has to be a mole somewhere. Someone is doing something they shouldn't be. And you start to get a little paranoid about whether or not some of your coterie mates who may or may not have declared their own affiliation, shall we say, with the Camarilla, whether they're involved. But one thing you do know for sure is that after a stunt like what happened at the overpass, if the police weren't being vigilant then, they certainly are now. And you start to wonder, why wouldn't they have been before? You start to wonder just situations going through your head, and you're trying to make sense of it all, and you're starting to feel very paranoid. You are under the paranoia compulsion. Until you find a safe place to be, you are at a -2 penalty for every roll that doesn't involve you getting to a safe place. Until such a time that you find that place and are able to sit for at least an hour. Otherwise, you are on high alert and getting distracted by everything.
I'll kind of relay my musings out loud of all that, and just say we have to have Brad. I don't know I don't know who it is, but someone is talking. I don't know why the police aren't out already, but they should be now after what I did. They're looking for me anyways. I need to lay low. I need to get out of here. I need to. And Ken will just kind of start walking off, mumbling.
Does Mellis hear this after he returns from changing his clothes?
He's muttering out loud, so yes.
They want you for questioning, Ken. They don't have any solid information as to what went down.
Ken, you
They're
know that they've
trying to get.
spoken to at least 25 people. They
They've
had to have
spoken
by
to
now.
all the people there. They have to have something.
My information was that you were not a suspect, but you were wanted for questioning.
Just a thought, but is it not a good idea to just keep your face hidden? As in,
And
perhaps you could learn something from my clan.
Malice will throw Kenny a mask that he can slide down over his head that'll hang around his neck until he wants to pull it up. Dark black in color.
That'll help.
It's not much, but maybe this will help you some. And if you look at Malice, you'll notice that he's wearing one similar with he's all black clothing, black hoodie, black pants, black shoes, and a similar mask hanging around his neck.
Yes, I need to go clear my head. I need to get out of here.
Stay out of sight.
Yes. I'm
Fuck
going to go to my
yes.
room and lock my door.
Yeah,
This is not a good situation.
yeah, and it's only gonna get worse before it gets better.
This coterie is fracturing. We're not working cohesively.
No, we're not. We haven't been for some time now, but it's only gotten worse since they attacked Mercy, and then, well, the events of last evening with Liv are only serving to further separate us from ourselves and from each other. What are you doing tonight, Rodney? Do you need any help?
I think I'm going to go speak to Primogen Moses, if I can find him. And I think I'll pay a visit to Agatha, one of my own clan. She's very well in the know.
Alright. Take Charles with you.
Always. Always.
He at
I need,
least may give you some warning.
I need to check in with my animals as well.
Uh, can you tell him to leave the new pets alone?
Yes, I can tell them.
They'll appreciate it. Last image I saw is two of the cats trying to attack the new guy.
Well, that is what they do. That's what they're here for. To
Oh,
keep an eye. for anything strange.
Well, these strangeness are here as protection for us, and they may not look like much, but they can communicate with me.
Rodney, you have noticed a surprising amount of walking rat corpses crawling on walls like cockroaches.
That explains a lot.
It's of human and animal parts that have no eyes or ears or mouth, but are walking and crawling as well.
Keep them out of my hoard, please. That's very
They
strange. They're very
they are.
creepy.
I understand, but they are here to guard and protect. That's what they are for. They're not taking anything or messing with anything of yours. They're only doing what they were designed to do.
And
Yes,
Rodney, your
yes.
mind thinks back to this is what he wanted to do to Jasper?
No.
Whether you say that
Yes.
out loud or not is up to you, but that's what
No,
goes in your
he,
mind.
he, he doesn't say it out loud. He knows better.
I am. Yes. I will warn my friends about it. I also need to speak with my human friends on all of this. See what they have to say.
Then I'll leave you to it. I've got some errands to run of my own.
Malice, when you have a few moments, can I suggest you try some reconstructive surgery on Guy? He doesn't seem all that happy. I don't think I would be happy eating out of a tube either.
I will do my best, and I'll take Guy with me.
And like a pining puppy after his master, Guy follows you.
Before we get to anywhere that we can be seen, Malice is going to tell him to open his mouth, rake his thumb across his one of his teeth, and put another drop of blood.
And gladly, Guy just licks every bit of that flavor from your tongue as much as he can, as much as you allow him to have. He.
I'll give him another rouse.
Okay.
That seemed to have helped the last time. Thankfully, that's a success, and I don't get any hungry.
Good to know.
Oh shit!
Good to know. What is your hunger at, Mr. Malos?
2.
2. Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to feed while I'm at the hospital as well.
Okay. So Malice goes off to the hospital. Rodney's off to go to court. And Ken is trying to determine if this is actually a safe place or not. What are some of the thoughts going through your head, Kenny boy?
Ken is trying to mull over who could be the rat. He's going a mile a minute, bouncing back between that and feeling bad like he feels responsible for Liv. And he doesn't know what to do. He's at a loss. He's kind of he just doesn't know what to do.
Does that mean that you don't necessarily feel safe here either? Because if you are thinking hard enough about it, even your coterie mates could be the mole. Could they be working to overturn the Camarilla? Are you inadvertently working to overturn the Camarilla too? You know what some kindred can do when it comes to the commands of others. Are you purposefully sabotaging them? Are they sabotaging you? Are they sabotaging this whole city? Was it the right thing to do? What would Asako do?
I think after sitting there for a while, Ken will just put on some dark clothes, pull the mask up, and head to the gym.
Head to the gym.
And that's the same gym that has a locker with a certain phone in it.
Aha. And what do you do with that phone?
I simply call Asako.
And are you looking to meet up with her?
Depends on what she says. If I get a hold of her.
It sounds like there's an answer. No one said anything on the phone line, but it sounds like someone picked up. It's not ringing anymore.
Just say, Asako, I don't know what I'm doing. Everything I do fucks up. I don't know what to do. Nothing's made sense since I left.
Did you make the wrong choice? You hear her say.
I don't know. I just know that I don't know what to do now. I don't like fighting a war. It's been even more bloodshed than I was worried about since I left. Tell me what to do.
Come home. She just leaves that hanging in the air. And hangs up on you, leaving you to decide. What do you do?
He'll just be sitting there and he's gonna think about this.
And he'll probably be thinking for some time, as the dawn is only a couple of hours away. But for now, while Ken is organizing his thoughts and trying to determine what it is that he's supposed to do, we're going to join Malice as he visits the hospital. The hospital where other of his kin, the Hakata, have claimed their little piece of territory, as well as where Mercy has been shacking up, as it were, in order to recover, given that the food supply is a little bit more abundant here and readily available. Pardon me. But she is available for you to speak to. She has recovered some, but not a lot. She is still a mangled mess, and this morgue has to be quarantined off in order for you to even be able to speak to her.
Take a second, my dude. Get something to drink.
I'm good.
Malice is just gonna take a moment, take in Mercy and her condition.
You know what's rude to stare at a woman?
It's even ruder not to hug your brother when you see him.
Well, I didn't want to get this mess all over you.
Wouldn't be the first time I got messy from something that happened with you. It's not gonna be the last.
It's a fucking shame because you put on clean clothes. I can smell the detergent from here.
They're dark. They'll hide the blood stains.
You little
Now get
shit.
over here and give your brother a hug.
And reluctantly, she does. I don't want to
Malice
turn
will
in.
hold on. Malice will hold a little bit longer than Mercy is normally comfortable with.
Come on. You know I
My
ain't.
apologies.
You know I ain't all that for this hoogity boogity shit.
I am aware.
Look,
But after the last time I left you, I wasn't sure how you were gonna come out.
look, I'm fine. I'm getting fed. I'm a little hungry right now. That's why I didn't want to really get close because I couldn't tell if you were hiding the scent or not.
Not at all. Things are getting uglier out there.
Oh, shit.
I gotta hide who I am so I can get around. I don't know who I can trust anymore outside of you. And, well, guy over there in the corner.
Who's
I'm
guy?
assuming guy is just gonna wave.
Yeah, he's just gonna wave at them both.
He's
Who's that now?
he's my new pet. Guy, remove your scarf.
Holy shit.
You can put it back on now.
What the fuck happened to him? How is it he's still breathing? The fuck did
I'm
you do?
assuming it. I'm assuming it's a gift of the blood. As I said, he's my new pet.
I'll be damned.
Part of the reason he's here is I need to ask the Dawn if there's any way to restore the damage I done.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that.
I've
And
heard there's ways, but they're not particular to our means.
yeah, I get it.
Uh,
So you wanting to talk to Don Mangini then?
you first. What do you remember about the night that I found you?
Not a lot.
Do you remember taking care of I forget his name.
Yeah, the one who was going to be the problem.
Yeah.
I was going there to take care of that for you. I didn't want you getting your hands dirty. I figured I'd do you the
You
favor.
I assumed as much, and I found you in his place.
What happened between then and when I woke up in the hotel in the bunker? I don't remember nothing.
I understand that, and I assumed as much. But do you remember what happened before that? Do you remember getting to his place?
Yeah,
Was he there?
yeah, he was there. I took care of it. And next thing I know, I'm staring up at you like you like like we were falling out of a window 1 second, and then next thing is waking up
Yeah.
in the waking up in the hotel.
My question when you took care of him, did you eat him or had you just finished what you were doing and then it goes dark?
When when it comes to
Before
taking
the falling.
right, I was getting to that. When it comes to just taking care of somebody, you you do it without, you know, breach the masquerade. So I wasn't I wasn't needing anything as far as hunger or nothing. I was just I was just doing a job. Just it's just like any other.
Because when I got there, I knew he was gone. His body wasn't there, but you were tied to a chair. In his place, with a bomb in your chest, waiting for us, I'm assuming.
That I don't remember at all.
No, but you do remember me, seeming to be on top of you as we fall, but then
I had every little instinct within me. I was gonna bite you.
I figured.
I'd been so mangled and drained, and I had what little will in me to keep myself from biting you, Malice. I almost couldn't do it.
uh, You couldn't keep yourself from latching on to Dana. It
Like I
doesn't
said,
help
I
she
spent
stuck her
what
hand down her throat.
like I said, what last little bit I had, I didn't want to bite into you.
I'd have gladly taken it. Took what I could to keep you from coming to any more harm from your condition in the fall, and uh, sorry it was so quick and dirty, but I had to get that damn thing out of your chest before we both blew up.
I'm still recovering. It's gonna take a long time.
I'm aware. I just wanted to see if you had any more information. I know Joseph is involved, and well, hell, that's your condition, and Joseph is what led to Guy over here and his.
Right.
I found him right after I dropped you off with Don Mangini. Because at least here I know you're safe. I know you're protected, cared for.
He's pretty good people, Malice.
I'm aware. I don't trust Katerina any more than I can throw her, but. And it's at this point that Malice will convey the events of earlier this evening and what's going on with Liv. I don't want to just drop this on you, but Liv ain't coming back.
Shit.
Went after you, and I don't know if the news has gotten to him whether or not you're still among the unliving or not. Don't particularly give two flying fucks whether they do or not, but turns out they got the drop on Liv.
Shit. She shouldn't have been out there by herself.
And Malice will take Liv's cell phone out of his back pocket and hand it to Mercy. This is all I got left of her.
I should
And
have been
yes,
there.
that's her that's covering the screen.
I should have been there. I should have been there with her. I shouldn't have been here.
Why? So you could have been staked through the heart, tied to a fucking air duct on the top of a roof
I would have at least
to
allowed
greet the morning sun.
better me than her. She's the one who's got the better chance at taking these fuckers down. You know that well as I do.
They took you both out, and it's got me more than concerned. And Malice will take the stake that he's carved Joseph's name into. This is what they used on Liv, and I plan on using it on him.
Good.
And that leads me to the next part of why I'm here. Do you have any of the weapons stashed where I could get to them? Or did those disappear like Liv's?
My weapons?
Yeah,
They were on me.
I assumed as much. So now they got your weapons and Liv's. Whatever she had in that bag and her fucking sniper rifle. Fucking A.
And if any of them are good shot, they're gonna take advantage of that.
Sniper rifle, you ain't even gotta be a good shot. You just gotta get close. And you can do some damage. Fuck.
Sniper
Malice,
rifles take a chunk out of a living human being. What kind of damage can it do to a kindred? Who even knows?
the one person I could ask can't answer that question no more.
Son of a bitch.
More's the pity. Malice isn't gonna drop anything else on the family issue, but he'll. I know you don't care for the hugs, but I need it. I need the reassurance that you're still here.
I'm still here, Malice. And she kind of just reaches a hand and just kind of like, basically just kind of like palms your face.
Yeah. And Malice will lean in, give her a hug and a kiss on the cheek. I gotta be off. There's a lot going on and more to do before the night's through.
If there's something I can do to help you, because I feel useless in here.
The best thing you can do for me is get better. Maybe keep an eye on God, because I don't.
You want to leave him here?
I think it's gonna be for the best. I gotta talk to the Don anyways.
He's probably in his
Malice.
office.
Malice will take out a notepad and a pen and hand it to Guy. Go meet my sister. She ain't gonna hurt you none. She may talk all gruff and shit, and well, she can be, but she ain't gonna hurt you, I promise.
That ain't no way to sell me.
You sell yourself better than I ever could. And Bass says it's your turn to use the brain cell.
Well,
So use
point me
it.
in a direction, I'll use it to try and find these fuckers.
To get any information, I'll do what I can, I promise. I ain't gonna leave you here. And I'll make my way to Don Mangini's office.
Fair enough. You make your way through the hallways towards a little corner somewhere off the beaten path when it comes to this little hospital, and you find yourself in front of his door. What do?
Knock.
You give it a knock. There is a pause. And then a come in.
Malice will enter. Close the door behind him.
And there in the seat behind the desk is whom you know to be Don Luca Mangini, the leader, in a way, of the Hakata family of the city of Jackson. Malice, please sit.
Malice will take the seat that's offered.
How are you tonight?
Probably as close to a frenzy as Bruja are all the time.
Then I would rather you be in here than out in the world. At the moment, I don't need a mess to clean up.
No, I've already cleaned up a few.
But know that should you release your anger on me, I will not forgive you.
I don't intend to.
We don't ever intend to, but
I came to well, Malice will relay the vision that he had of Liv in the premonition, the state in which he found her.
I
And
see.
so close on the heels of what happened with Mercy, picking us apart one by one, and taking out the strongest of us first.
Do you fear that being a part of that coterie is destructive to your well-being?
I feel if something don't change, it'll be the end of me. It'll
We
be the
can't have
end of
that.
Mercy.
I certainly won't have that.
I didn't come for that this evening. I come to ask you a couple questions. First, I need to feed if possible before I leave tonight.
You're always welcome
Second,
at the family table.
second, it's only rumor that I heard through Magdalene, and I know you don't like hearing her name, but after I left the last time, I had an incident. I have a new pet. He's downstairs with Mercy right now, getting to know Mercy. Uh,
A new pet. Something that
Ghoul.
you... Ah. See, you have to be specific. There
I
are a
have
lot
many
of pets that we
pets.
could create, my dear boy.
I have 17 of them back at the
Oh my
Haven.
goodness.
Bits and pieces of odds and ends, people, animals, rats, whatever I could find. But I heard
17.
tell of Magdalene of certain special abilities some of our kind have. Uh, I don't know if it's a clan specific thing or just anybody can learn it. She said it was a Zamisi thing. And Malice will describe the wound on Guy's neck. Is there some way of restoring this so the man can eat and talk again? Well, even if not talk, at least be able to eat and swallow.
Now, that's a tricky thing. The flesh sculpting of the Zemisi, that's a
Yeah.
fairly guarded secret amongst them, and so far as I know, no Zemisi reside in the city of Jackson. So far as I know.
But there is potential that it could be done if we could find one. Yeah.
Potentially.
Oh,
Flesh
I
sculpting
guess
does have to be created from something, so it would likely take things from elsewhere in his body and reshape his throat to a functional capability,
right.
but he would lose something as a result.
Something given is never free. I figured as much.
Cannot create
I'm.
something out of nothing.
I don't know how the man's still alive, other than the vitae from my veins coursing through his.
That is likely the only thing.
Well, I'm gonna leave him here for now. I'm leaving him with Mercy. Third question. Can I potentially gain access to any of the weapons that we possess? And I mean more than just the ones that were given through our blood.
You're wanting me to reach into the pockets of the actual family.
Seeing if I can just get a weapon or two more than. And Malice will pull out the stake and lay it on the Don's desk where the Don can see that Malice has meticulously used his fingernails to carve Joseph's name into it. I feel a bit naked, this being the only thing I have.
It's probably the more powerful thing that you own. But I do have connections with weapons dealers. I do have connections to money. I do have connections to a lot of different things. Do you know what you're asking of me?
I know you require something of equal importance in return of me specifically. And I
Yes, is
only
it?
ask because I know for a fact that the weapons that Mercy had the night I found her in her condition are now in their possession, and the weapons of my coterie mate that has so recently met the sunrise for the last time, including sniper rifles, are now in their possession.
So just to be clear, Malice, are you asking me to join sides with the Camarilla?
No, I'm asking you to give me the means with which I need to take care of Joseph once and for all. And whether I get it done tonight or not, I'm yours. I'm not asking you to join anybody. I'm just asking you to give me the means with which I need to do this. And you'll see that Malice is in such a state, a single bloody tear rolls down his cheek.
I understand your concern, my boy. I truly do. You are concerned for family, as am I.
As long as he's out there, none of us are safe. The way with which he moves in and out of domain, whether it be mine or Spencer Quinn's, makes no never mind. He's getting in and out. He's got somebody helping him. I don't know who. I don't know how well connected they are. But somebody's turning a blind eye. I intend to find out who and take care of them as well as Joseph.
And this is your conviction. This is what you are, the hill you are willing to die on.
I will pay whatever price you require. And indeed, yes, I do. If that is what it takes to secure the safety of you and Mercy, then so be it. This is the hill I die on.
I believe that is the first time that you have even considered me a part of your family.
You would assume correct.
I protect my own. I
It's
consider
because
you my own.
it's because of what you've done for Mercy that I can even consider you family.
I consider many members of that Qatar family. I know you do not like Katerina. She makes snide remarks behind my back about me too.
So you've heard.
I'm surprised you haven't heard the rumor yet.
Hear all kinds of rumors. Apparently, Mercy and I are more than brother and sister.
That isn't even what I meant.
I, would I know which rumor he is referring to?
That would be a... I'm gonna say wits politics, because it would be more of a kindred rumor than a street rumor.
Alright. Four successes.
You may have heard Katerina say something once or twice, maybe under her breath, that Mangini might be a Camarilla sympathizer.
You mean the one that you're lick boot for the cami?
As she would put it, yes.
Well, how else do those shoes get so shiny?
I should be so blessed to spit shine the boots of our dear prince, and should be so
I
lucky.
apologize for the need of levity at the moment, but
You're on the verge of
outside
tears, you're on the verge of rage, you're on the verge of laughing your head off. If you do not laugh, you will cry.
even more. I do not give any credence to the majority of what comes out of Katarina's mouth.
And yet, you choose to study from her a lot more.
He has been a beneficial teacher in stepping in where no one else has seemed to see fit or have a desire to deal with me because of who my sire was.
Your
I
sire
take
was a traitor to both the Kata, to herself, to this city. She
what I
made
can get.
bad mistakes.
I take what I can get where I can get it. I try not to look a gift horse in the mouth.
But On the business of what you are exactly asking me for, you are asking me for weapons. I do not have weapons currently available to me. I would have to reach out to some of my more familial ties in order to collect them. And by familiar ties, I mean black markets.
I'm aware, and I assumed as much. I didn't figure we had a arsenal stashed around in the freaking morgue.
I run a hospital. I do not run a warehouse like a mafioso.
Some of our kind do, and I was hoping that would be the case, but I was assuming it was not.
Smart
Why?
boy. You are asking for me to continue to aid Mercy. As I have told you, she is family to me, and thus I take care of my own as
And
well
at the
as you.
moment, she's all that matters to me. But she's safe is all that matters to me.
Well, then there's the matter of other importance, which is you would also like to feed at that table, yes?
Before I head out, I think it would be best, yes, sir.
I will allow for all of this. And you would owe me a major boon in exchange. One of my choosing. No questions.
And I will tell you that if I'm not available to, I do have one in my charge that owes. That you may be able to collect from if something were to happen to me. And I give him the name of Kenny Tanaka, not the nature of the boons, but that there are two boons still owed to me, and that if something happens to me, this is the one person who may be able to collect from.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you. And should those boons come to my need, I will use them wisely.
I'm sure you will.
Well then, consider it done. I will have the firearms you ask for tomorrow evening, and you may feed from our table tonight.
All right.
In fact, I will give you feeding for the next 3 days. But be aware that it may slow Mercy's recovery.
I'm aware,
So just
and
bear that in mind.
I will take no more than is absolutely necessary.
And
And
he'll...
if my hunting turns up anything, I'll make sure that you are kept apprised of whatever information I get, and well, I'll do my best not to turn the next body to ashes, so that I can replenish the stores with which Murphy will need to feed.
Good lad. She definitely takes after the Nagaraja in that way.
We both do. I just have a few more benefits that she doesn't. I can
Yes.
actually feed on the living flesh, like my hunger, and she, not so much.
No, she must...
You must eat their organs.
Yes. It's not just a single slice that will sate her. No, it is full organs.
And only the organs, or the blood of one of our kind.
Yes, very, very tricky.
And of that, Malice will make sure of a blood bond between Dana and Mercy in the attempts to restore her. Where I could even get her here. I don't know why I grabbed blood bags. Fucking stupid of me. But in that moment, it was all I could think of trying. And
You did what you could. You did what you thought would work.
should have known better.
It
But
is okay to have a slip up occasionally when you're in a panic, but try not to let yourself panic too much. It will get the better of you.
oh, there's a new crater over by whatever his fucking face was apartment because of a panic.
Yes,
I
I did.
intended to throw it through the fucking window, and well, shit.
Yes, I did hear of that.
I'm aware. Uh, I'm told it's a little bit of talk in the court right now too.
Yes, just keep that in mind. People talk.
They're always gonna talk. Might as well give them something to talk about.
Touche. If that is all, I do have work to get to.
And I have other matters to attend to as well. Thank you. And I bid you good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Malus.
I'm going to go feed, and then I'm going to start hunting Joseph.
Alright. Going to feed. You have been freely given of the table of Don Luca Mangini, and so you can find yourself a suitable vessel. Are you going for a corpse, or are you going for someone alive?
I'm going to go against my normal feeding role and see if I can find someone alive so that I'm not taking from what it is that Mercy can only eat.
Okay. And how do you plan to go about doing this, then?
I'm going to look and see if there's somebody down in the depths near the morgue. A lone individual. I don't really know how to go about this. I just know that the last time I did it, there was lots of screaming.
So maybe someone at the chapel, maybe someone who's kind
I'm
of
going to.
pacing a
I'm
waiting
going.
room, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm going to look and see if there's somebody that's alone in the chapel.
Okay. And how do you
I'm
plan
going
to go
towards the
about
grave
feeding on them?
rituals.
Are you sneaking up on them? Are you seducing them? Are you...
No, it's going to be stealth, and I'm not very great at that, but I at least have some ability with it.
So if you're going to sneak up and actually, you know...
Yeah.
Because that sounds like an alley cat roll.
I'm looking more along the alternate for the grave robber of the burial ritual type feeding.
I don't
Not
recall what that roll is.
give me just a second.
I don't know enough about grave robber as a feeding roll.
That is
Because it's either feeding on the mournful or it's feeding from corpses, correct?
Right.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Then yeah, just let me know what the roll is, and I may allow it.
The grave robber. Okay. It's an occult ritual. It's an occult roll. It's, I believe, resolve occult.
No, that wouldn't apply here because occult isn't your this
Okay.
the way that you're wanting to go about feeding on someone
It's
is
going to be more of a brawl.
well, it's either that or it's going to be more of a manipulation role in that you're trying to do your best to console them
Okay.
in a sort of,
Then
compassionate fashion.
then I'll take the manipulation roll on that since I will most
Okay.
likely have better results.
Then I'm going to call that a manipulation subterfuge.
All right. Ooh, 3 successes.
3. Can allow you to succeed at a cost.
I'll take it.
Do you want to know what the cost is?
Yes, I do, but I'm gonna take it.
The cost is that Rodney runs into a complication.
I've
Do you,
got to take it, and
okay. So,
I can't roll any better than that,
okay.
and not wind up messy.
All right. Then for the cost of Rodney potentially running into a complication in his presenting himself in court, you get to slake your hunger. And do you slake your hunger for 1? Because you said you were at 2.
Yeah.
All right. You are as topped up as a person can be without killing someone, so there's that. But I think that's a good point at which we will switch over to Rodney. With the conversation with Don Luca Mancini having concluded, and you collecting yourself enough to feed, you are going to get to work trying to hunt down the monster that is Joseph Gutenberg. In the meantime, our good friend Rodney has made himself towards the Elysium, a place of gathering of kindred of all shapes and sizes, of all swaths, of every sort. There are only a select few in the Elysium tonight, Rodney. A couple that you have seen before, a couple that you have not.
I would like to make a note that before I enter, I shake off as much of the dirt as I can.
Oh, as far as, yeah, dirt. Okay, so you have shoved off as much dirt as you can. The the presence in the Elysium is light. The people that you see that have arrived are the Harpy, of course. Everyone recognizes Harpy Carla Harvey. She is a beauty of a rose with as prickly a thorns as any rose can be. By reputation, she might even be pricklier than Dana. And that's kind of saying a lot. But aside from, of course, Seneschal Howell, the others you might not know. At least personally. The Harpy greets you as you enter.
Good evening.
Hello.
How are you this evening? Harvey.
I'm doing fine.
I am quite pleased to hear so.
What are you doing here?
I am looking for a Primogen. I figured this was the best place to go.
Primogen.
Yes.
You must mean Primogen Amy Bach. You know, the Low Clan Primogen. She's not in tonight.
Actually, no. That's not who I was looking for.
Oh.
His name is Primogen Moses Heifetz. Perhaps.
Aha. What business do you have with Primogen Heifetz, I wonder?
Surely nothing you'd be interested in.
Oh, surely everything I'd be interested in.
Simply wondering if he perhaps had his fingers in our local law enforcement.
Oh. Oh, really?
Yes.
Local law enforcement. Whatever could a pathetic... Sorry. A delightful creature like yourself want to do with the police?
Oh, I just thought it could be a good tactical maneuver.
Uh-huh. You're wanting to tell our Primogen how to run tactics.
No. I was hoping that Primogen Heifetz could potentially share information beneficial to me. You know, as my clan tends to do.
Right. The information brokers of the Camarilla, sure. Yes. And I'm sorry, who are you again?
My name is Rodney Drummond.
Right. Rodney Drummond. That's right. That's where I've heard that name from. The bunch of neonates who can't seem to keep their ducks in a row.
By what do you mean?
Well, by admittance of one of your own, Mr. Kentanaka, there's plenty that you failed to do at this point.
Yes. I remember that. I was standing right here.
Oh. Right. I forgot.
Yes. Mr. Ken Tanaka, who is a rather new addition and is still learning to tell his feet from his ass.
Well, I'll pass along the message.
I would appreciate it very much, Harvey.
And before she has a chance to say anything else, you didn't realize it before, but it looks like the seneschal has walked up right next to her.
Rodney, upon
Almost
noticing
instantly.
the seneschal, actually takes his hat off and gives a little bow to her.
You said you wanted to speak to Primage and Heifetz. The seneschal says to you.
Yes, I did, Seneschal.
And I was just informing him that I would relay the message. Seneschal Howell. Of course you would. I wouldn't doubt that for a moment. And you hear that she has a very, very thick accent. She's very thick French accent. The seneschal.
Rodney pays very, very close attention to what she's saying because of that accent.
Mm-hmm. Even in all the time that she's been here, for as long as you know, she was here long before the city was founded. Maybe even longer than since the colonies were founded here in the States. Maybe she's that old? If the rumors are true? But her accent is very old. Very, very old French. Very thick. And even in all this time, it still hasn't really melted away. I would like to speak to this one, Harpy, if you don't mind. Of course, Seneschal. And Harvey takes a couple steps back, gives a little bit of a bow, and allows the two of you. You are now one-on-one speaking with your seneschal, Mr. Drummond.
What may I assist you with, Seneschal Howell?
Oh, it is nothing. I just did not think that she would be a one of her word.
Yes, I could see how that might be a question.
You are part of the Dick crew, correct?
That is correct, Seneschal.
She kind of cocks her head at you a little bit, kind of looks you up and down.
He kind of seems to shrink as much as that's possible for somebody of his size.
You're curious.
May I ask what you mean?
You are just a curious creature.
That's not a descriptor I've heard often. Disgusting is normally what people go for.
You spend your time with so many Toreador.
Yes. Yes.
I've come to learn and understand the many facets of the Nosferatu.
Pardon?
There are so many things, so many layers, so many little things to just peel away.
Yes. Like an onion.
Yes, like an onion.
I'm glad to hear that you have some understanding. Seneschal. My Seneschal,
Mm-hmm.
would You perhaps know who my coterie mate Liv's sire was. Is.
Was. You had it correct the first time, didn't you?
Yes. Yes. Rodney kind of looks at the floor as he says that.
Caitlin Fargus. Another prickly rose. She won't be happy.
No, I imagine not.
No, I fear that she would do something she would regret.
Would it be best to not inform her?
I think it would be best if you do not inform her. You have more important work to do.
Of course.
But I'm curious.
Yes.
Why the Primogen?
Mr. Tanaka and I got into some mess the previous evening, and resulted in Liv. She was also with us, and she did not return. But it seems the police may have gotten involved, and he's a bit worried about that. But I also had a thought that perhaps if we do not have somebody involved with the police in the city as is, then perhaps it might be prudent to put fingers there and eyes.
You are wise to think of such things. However, I assure you that these kings are taken care of. And from what you're saying to me now, you and your coterie are the reason that a hero of this city has fallen.
Yes. I cannot deny that.
You see, it upsets me when the kindred of this city are destroyed. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
And so when someone who's honored as a hero of this city is destroyed by our enemy, and they haven't been made an example of as of yet, you understand why that upsets me, don't you?
This also upsets me. So yes, I understand.
I don't think you do. No, I think that in order for you to understand, there are layers to that onion that need to be peeled away.
What do you mean, Miss Seneschal?
What do you know, Mr. Drummond?
Apparently not enough.
What happened to Liv DeAngelis?
He did not come home.
I see. Who would know?
Coterie mates of mine found her.
Found
Or
her. I see.
they were able to confirm her departure.
With certainty.
Yes.
Because you see, there are things that some know without certainty that can't be proven. You can only see what's going to happen, and you can only see, and you can't show others. Do you see these things, Mr. Drummond?
Rodney holds up a finger for a moment as he considers her words. I
think I understand. Would you like to know the names of the members that I know came across her?
I know the names of your other coterie mates. You seem scared. Do I scare you?
Social interaction scares me. Essentially. This is
Such an awkward creature.
this is not a common occurrence for me, as I'm sure you've noticed.
Perhaps some practice is in order. I should enjoy seeing you in court more often. I would like to see you grow in that way. But I understand that our good sheriff has a job that you've been tasked with, so I shouldn't keep you.
I appreciate the time, Seneschal Howell.
Understand that with Liv destroyed and Mercy at the mercy of the Arcada, how will you keep this city from falling? How will you protect my prince?
That is a question I am working on the answer.
Because you see, Mr. Drummond, I see things. My prince. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's coming. But I do.
My Seneschal, am I right? I understand this is a dangerous question.
I think it's a question you already know the answer to.
I had hoped the answer that I had come to was incorrect.
So what do you do?
all that I can to protect as many others as I can.
No. No, the one who must remain. The only one that really matters is Marius Calhoun.
And I shall do what I can to protect our prince.
He and his lineage.
Yes.
Long may he reign.
Long may he reign.
Good evening, Mr. Drummond.
And to you, Seneschal Howe.
And very silently, she starts to walk away. You almost expect to hear heels underneath that beautiful lace dress, but there isn't a sound.
Rodney watches after her as she walks away, considering everything that she just said. She just confirmed something for him that he had truly, truly hoped. They may be fighting a losing battle.
The best that he can do is provide somewhere safe to escape to. And arm it against whatever the coming fall is going to happen.
Your microphone's cutting out really bad.
Oops. I said, all he can do is prevent them all from falling and arm it against whatever he can possibly arm it against.
And I believe that is where we're going to take a quick break. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We will be back shortly with the rest of this episode of War in the Soul City. Welcome back, everyone, to War in the Soul City. Last we left off, our coterie mates have gone about some of their separate business. Rodney went to Elysium and has since made his mark on the people of the court. The Hikada Malice has made it his business to make sure that Mercy is well taken care of, and has offered his services to his Dawn in exchange for feeding, in exchange for continuing to keep Mercy safe, and, well, a number of other things, including getting supplies and weapons. But Ken was in his room Ken was feeling paranoid. Ken was experiencing the most paranoid that he's been in probably quite some time, and was beginning to question everyone around him. His mind racing with different thoughts, and ultimately went to a gym where he is renting a specific locker with a specific phone that has a very specific number in it. The number to reach Asako, the woman who sired him. And so, after having a brief conversation with her and him asking her, "What do I do?" she simply said, "Come home," and hung up. And so, Ken, you're in the Flowwood neighborhood, outside of a very familiar house, standing at the door. She hasn't answered yet. You haven't even knocked. You stand there. What are your thoughts right now, as the bit of paranoia that you had been feeling is starting to wash away?
Ken is... He just doesn't know what to do. He's like a boat kind of stuck out in the middle of the ocean with no wind. He doesn't have a heading that he's going towards. He doesn't know what to do. He's just kind of stuck there. And he's looking for any kind of person to throw him a lifeline. He's tried with his coterie mates, and it's not that he doesn't trust his coterie mates, it's he doesn't want to cause the same thing that he caused with Liv. He just doesn't want to screw anything else up. He doesn't know what to do, and everything he's done since he decided to leave the Anarchs, it seems like it's all been one big mistake, and he just doesn't know what end is up right now.
And so you're possibly even debating whether or not you should knock on this door right now, aren't you?
Yes. But I think I will knock. Even if they end up taking him out, it's at least an answer and an ending to all the turmoil that he's going through right now. He's looking for anything.
You knock, and the door gently, quietly opens to reveal Asako. Based on your call, she said she would be here, and here she is.
Ken will just kind of stand there with his head down. It's been some time. I don't know what to do anymore. Everything I try blows up in my face. Everything that I think is turned on his head. I just don't know.
I know. I would ask you to come in, but I don't think I can trust you with that at the moment.
No one really trusts me anymore.
Are you so indecisive?
I tried to stand up for what I believed in, something that I didn't agree with, but even then I don't know if that was the right call. I've seen what the Camarilla can do and they're just as monstrous. I don't know if there is a good side. I don't know what to do.
There isn't a good side, Ken. I tried to tell you that. I know that you try to see the good in people. In kindred. But there's no good in those who are damned. All you can do is aim to survive. Because that's ultimately all there is. Whatever you believe is fine, so long as it abides by their rules, right?
I don't care about their rules. I only care about doing what I think is... I just want to live my life without hurting anyone if I can.
That's impossible.
I know, but I like to try. It's the last shred of humanity that I have left. And I'm afraid of what I'll turn into if that ever goes away.
You should be. You should be afraid.
I should be afraid of coming here. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this alive. I don't know if I'm going to see tomorrow. But I'm not scared anymore. I want something to believe in, and I want something to... I just want to live my life without having to deal with life and death decisions all the time.
I'm sorry that I brought you in. At a time like this, it was foolish. I admit that. But I couldn't let you go. You understand, don't you?
Somewhat.
That need.
I've felt it from time to time. It feels like it's getting stronger. I don't know how you deal with it. Just random things that strike my fancy that I feel like I need to own them. And
That's
I
what
need to
being a
have them.
Toreador is. We see things differently. We exist differently than the rest of them. You felt it. I'm sure you have. Where time seems to slow. And all you can do is stare. Doesn't matter what it is. You just stare for what seems like an eternity, or you listen to a conversation that drones on and on and on and it will never end. We experience differently. This is why I can't stand the stagnation of the Camarilla. They are far too dull. They are happy in their long, drawn out, winded, and blustering conversations. They are happy in their slow crawl of time, if you can call that happiness. They simply exist. They don't thrive. They simply survive. They don't enjoy. This is why I can't stand them. This is why I was sad to see that you were walking away. Because the thing that brought me joy did not want me.
I thought it was clear when I came to see you. All I ever did was want you.
No, you didn't.
I never wanted to displease you. And I never wanted to leave you. It's just, I didn't want to try. I wanted to try to make it so that I wanted to try to prevent the bloodshed. I thought I could do something, as naive as it sounds.
We are at war, Ken. There is no such thing as no bloodshed. There is no such thing as calm right now. And if you wanted calm, then you should go back to your Camarilla, because that's all they want. They don't want change. They're old. They're stagnant. Wretched. Rotting. Don't you see it?
I do.
But you've already given up on me once. Why should I take you back?
I don't know. I think I'm just a man without a place right now. I don't know. They don't trust me. You don't trust me. I don't know what to do. The last time it made sense was before I found out about all the violence and made my decision. I liked things the way they were before all of this. I'd like things to go back to that after this war is over.
But it won't. Like I said before, they will fall. Prince Calhoun and his court will fall.
I never cared about the prince. I care less about the court. I hate that place. It's a bunch of snide bitches taking every word you say and twisting them into something that they could use.
And here you are doing the same thing. Twisting me. twisting you. Twisting the world to try and shape it into your worldview.
I think I've given up on that. I think I have to take the world for what it is. I've started to accept the monster that I've become. I've known. I've killed. I don't like it, but the best I can do is try to keep control of it.
Ironic, isn't it? The man who abhors bloodshed has shed blood.
The first time it nearly broke me.
Nearly. But didn't. Hang on to that. Be broken when it feels like you can break. Because that's how you know that you're still you. Not the monster. Because the monster will win. It's just a matter of when. That's every kindred. Every vampire. Even every human, if you believe it. Humans can be just as big of monsters as we can. And they don't have a beast. They don't have an excuse. Why are you here?
I don't know what to do.
You have said that several times now. What are you aiming for me to do about that then?
The members that I got to know, some of them were decent people. I don't want to get them killed like I got another dead. I don't want to fight you all. I never wanted to. I'm glad I never had to fight with you. I would have just probably laid down my weapons and took whatever was coming to me.
Your beast wouldn't have allowed it. That inner instinct, that survival instinct, it wouldn't have let it. I'm sure you felt it on your drive here, knowing that this place is dangerous. Knowing that around every corner, around every plant, around every house, there could be another kindred looking to take your head off of your shoulders at any instant. I'm sure you can feel the rush of it right now. And Ken, you do feel a little uneased being in this place, even though it still has that very nostalgic and home-like feel.
Is there a front step?
You're kind of at the front step.
I'll just kind of turn and sit down on the front step. I came here because I didn't know what to do. I came here to ask your advice. You, the last time it made sense was with you.
You realize what this looks like, right?
You probably think I'm as big a traitor as everybody else in the Camarilla does.
I think you are indecisive. You can't be indecisive in a war. You must act with conviction and live with the consequences. Because there will be consequences, Ken. There have been consequences and there will be more. I could call Joseph or Cameron or any one of them and have you brought to your knees. Have you taken before Baron Thresh and him take your head from your shoulders and you would cease to exist.
You could. I'm here all but on my knees.
All but on your knees doing what?
Looking for guidance.
My advice: decide on something. Decide who you are. Anarch or Camarilla. Right at this very moment, right here on these steps. I can't tell you which to be now. You've already said that you wanted to decide that for yourself. And I can't let you not do that. I have to live with the consequences of your decision too. Because I do love you, Ken. I brought you into this world because I wanted a companion. But what I wanted, and what you wanted didn't line up. I want freedom. Freedom from the shackles of the tyrant prince. The prince who would starve us so that he could feed his gluttonous belly one more night.
I think I'm not cut out for the Camarilla. I know that I don't know if I'm cut out to be an anarch either, but I do know I don't want to fight you. I never did.
I never wanted to fight you
I'm
either.
sure.
Would you rather I take you back? Take the blood that I gave you back. And you just cease to exist.
No, I still want to survive. I just... How do I make you trust me?
You're kindred. I can't truly trust you. I brought you into this world and I can't truly trust you.
I guess that's something I never learned yet, is not to trust a kindred.
You should probably go. Your coterie mates are waiting.
I don't really want to go.
But if you stay, you're going to die. You know that, right? Baron Thresh wouldn't have it any other way. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
If that's what happens, I'm tired of the song and dance. I'm not a Camarilla.
She steps down the stairs and sits next to you and takes your hand. And she wraps her arms around you. I'm sorry, Ken. And she buries her fangs into your neck. What do you do?
I let her.
There is an instinct within you to get away. So I am gonna have you roll a fear frenzy because your beast knows that if she continues the way that she's guzzling down on your blood, because you've already lost 2 points, that you will cease to exist. So I need a fear frenzy from you.
All I gotta do is click frenzy.
Yep. It's gonna be difficulty 3. This is a hard instinct to overcome.
Do I get any modifiers?
Nope.
Okay.
Every instinct within you tells you to run. Every inch of your body tells you to run, and yet the kiss, that sweet Toreador kiss, the kind of kiss on your neck the night she embraced you, it feels familiar. It feels sweet. It's intoxicating. But at the same time, it feels draining. She's stealing it from you. She's taking everything that you are. It's as if she's taking what you are back from you. What are the thoughts going through your mind, Mr. Tanaka?
I think he's just glad that it's over. He's going to miss people. But he doesn't want to put anybody else in danger.
We're gonna fade to black on that scene. And we're gonna rejoin Malice as he makes his way to a familiar museum. A museum whose ballroom hosted the solstice celebration, where each kindred was to bring a vessel that would suit their own tastes, that would be called upon should a famine of some kind broach the city. That kindred could no longer sustain themselves on the kine of the city at large and had to resort to a controlled and catered selection. It is here, Malice, that you find the proprietor, Caitlin Fargus, amongst the artworks portrayed on the museum walls, speaking to an assistant, someone who is talking with her at length about appointments and items and things to procure and money to procure them with, speaking softly together. But you hear little bits of the conversation.
Alice will not interrupt, not necessarily move any closer to eavesdrop on the conversation. Whatever is overheard is overheard. Taking time to look around the gallery and to gather and collect his thoughts about what it is that he's here to do.
And as if you're one of the other patrons of this particular museum, she pays you no mind going about your business. Going about her business.
if there's a break in their conversation or a moment where they seem to have stopped that conversation, Malice will approach Caitlin.
There's a moment where she's stopped by a piece. Whether or not it's a new piece to the museum or not, but she seems encapsulated by it for a moment. She kind of stares at it unblinking.
Malice will look at whatever it is that seems to have captivated her for the moment.
You look at the tag of the piece, and it's a pretty auspicious piece. It's a possibly an obscure painting by the painter Raphael. And she's entranced by it, as if she's studying it.
We'll study her and it.
And after a moment, she realizes that you're standing next to her, staring at the same piece. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting something.
Not at all. Do you have a moment?
And
Malice looks around,
you are
preferably somewhere private. I am Malice,
Malice.
coterie mate to your child.
She kind of looks around to make sure that nobody else is overhearing.
He's whispering, barely audible. As I said, preferably somewhere private, if you don't mind.
Come with me. And she leads you over to a sort of private garden. There's no one really in the garden at the moment. It's too late at night to have anyone out in the garden this late. It's usually closed off to any patrons. It's surprising it's even open this late in the first place. Museums typically aren't open late at all. But she leads you into the garden, which is, from what you can tell, very beautiful, and has a very little illumination in it at the moment, just from the windows leading into this this interior garden with no exterior roof. And she kind of folds her arms, kind of leaning her weight onto one hip, and kind of cocks her head at you. What's this about?
Again, I apologize for the intrusion and the lateness of my visitation. But I have some urgent news that I think you should be made aware of.
Well, go on.
It is with a heavy heart that I must tell you, Liv is no more.
She kind of scoffs for a second. That's absurd.
Malice will take the dusty, ash-stained phone from his pocket and hand it to her.
She...
Absurdity or not, I assure you it's real. I found her on the roof. Ash. Not too many hours ago. Didn't come home last night. Highly unlike her.
She almost shudders when looking at the phone in her hand for a moment.
I don't know the exact circumstance, but Malice will share his vision of what he did see. The fear she felt, the anger and rage she felt against her tormentors.
That doesn't prove anything. My Liv is
Jake
an
was
excellent marksman. She's the reason the city stood against the Sabbats.
can't hit what you can't see. Whatever took her out, she didn't see it coming. Malice will describe the scene. Her staked through the heart, pinned to the duct on the roof.
Now stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's not true. It can't be true.
You should ask Dana about that.
Dana.
He has what's left of the ashes I was able to collect before they scattered to the winds.
You gave them to her.
They implied to me they were sisters after all. Who was I supposed to bring them to? You?
She's my child.
That's why I'm here. To give you the news.
What is
She
this
may
city
have
come to?
hated and detested me for what I am. And that's fine, I'm used to that. But I figured you at least deserve to know. From the person who found her. And what transpired to the best of my knowledge. All this can't be an absurdity nonsense. It's just that nonsense. We're all vulnerable. I don't know who's helping these fuckers get in and out of the Flowwood with such ease and reckless abandon that they can go anywhere and do whatever the fuck they feel like. You don't want to believe me, that's fine. I just came here as a courtesy to give you what information I had. About one of the few fucking kindred in this city that I actually have any respect for. I should say had. And Malice is gonna turn to walk away.
Wait.
You have something further? You'll see when Malice turns around, there's another single tear rolling down his cheek. Crimson, of course.
How do you intend to find her killers?
I'm starting at the top. Got 2 names and descriptions. One I know, one I only just learned the name. Joseph Gutenberg and Cameron. I don't think I ever called a last name. And as far as to catching them, I don't really particularly plan on catching them. I intend on burning every fucking rat hole, warren, haven they think they have that they can go to ground to fucking ash.
Good. Good. When you do, I want their ashes too.
I'll save what I can. I won't pretend to that it'll be all, but you'll have at least some. And as far as what's left of Liv's ashes, there may still be a small pile, and Malice will give her the location where he found her chained to the roof, and you'll find her what's left, if there is any that remain, next to what he describes as how she was tied to the post, and when he tried to touch her face, everything crumbled. Some of it scattered, some of it may still be there.
She was a woman of precision and beauty.
Indeed, she was.
So you better do her memory right.
Well, given that she's what should be a second of my coterie to have met this fate, then you can take it to the bank. I intend on making sure they have no safe place to turn.
And I intend on backing you in that. Tell me what you need. I want them to burn.
I need weapons. I need information.
Weapons I don't have. But I can get you information.
Weapons I'll have tomorrow night. But there's always, well, less delicate, less poetic ways of going about this. A jerry can and a box of matches goes a long way to bringing a lot of shit to ash.
And a lot of kindred frightened.
Well, so long as they're all in the Flowwood, what's it matter to you? As long as it ain't your house.
As long as it ain't mine. As long as it now comes nowhere near this museum. I've worked long and hard to make this place. I don't want it ruined.
Well, then you owe them some payback for little incident at the fucking solstice ball, do you not?
I do.
Information, maybe some help if any heat comes my way. Keeping it off of me so that I can do what needs done.
You'll have it.
And that's all I ask. And don't give Dana too much of a hard time. This has hit her just as hard as it's hit you.
I don't know whether to believe you on that or not.
I know y'all have issues. She used to be a anarch. I think she's had plenty of reason to go back with the way she's treated here. But I guarantee you she's done everything she could and supported Liv as much and as hard as anybody else. And this has hit her as hard. as it's hit you. Take that how you will. Believe what you want. But I'm telling you from first-hand knowledge, they were as close as my sister and I. And my sister should have been the first. She's barely hanging on and recovering as is. So I owe these fuckers a lot. And I aim to see that they get it. Whether it takes me out in the process or not doesn't matter as long as they go too.
Good. And with that, I think we're going to switch scenes once more. We're going to catch up with Rodney, who's making his way through the upper portions of the Warrens, the hand-dug tunnels that branch off from the sewer system, getting into the actual constructed part of the Warrens themselves. Who is it that you intend to go and see, Mr. Drummond?
I'm looking for my sire.
You know that he isn't necessarily far from wherever the sewers lead. He's a rather famous information broker throughout this entire city. Of course, selling information at a cost, of course. Earning himself a number of boons. Whether or not he's cashed any of them in, who's to say? But with the information that he's gathered in the past, he was perhaps one of the integral factors in staving off the Sabbat early in the 2000s this century.
Which makes him one of the most reliable people that I could potentially talk to at this point.
He's never steered you wrong.
No.
You start to pace around the upper portions of the Warrens, much as you commonly do when you're looking for him in specific. You've seen rats come here and there from any crevice that comes up in these walls. You get the sense that somebody knows that you're here. Somebody knows that you're pacing in the pattern that you are. And it might just be him.
Rats are a good sign. Rats are always a good sign.
Charles has nearly munched on one of them.
Rodney kind of picks up Charles and holds him so as to not have him eat whoever's pets these are.
Mm-hmm. It's probably safer that way, isn't it?
Just a little.
After a moment, you get a little tap on your shoulder. A very silent, almost feathery tap on your shoulder.
Rodney turns to look.
And it is exactly who you were looking for. Yanto Vaughn, the man who sired you. The one person that you could possibly say that you trust.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you this evening?
It's, I don't know.
Rodney kind of seems a little bit off in his own head. He's looking anywhere but Ianto. His mind is still abuzz with everything from Liv's death to what he was told by the Seneschal, and it's all weighing quite heavily on him.
You look perturbed, kid.
There is a lot happening. A lot.
Yeah. That's usually what happens when it comes to um warfare.
Yes. Warfare, yes. Yes.
You look like you got a lot on your mind.
Yes. That's to say the least. Are
So,
there ears aside your own here? Do you know?
sorry, what?
Are there ears aside your own?
I mean, we can always assume that somebody else is hearing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why are you looking for something more private?
I would appreciate that.
Well, I don't really have a way of guaranteeing that because I don't exactly, see,
No.
past the, you know, the the shroud that we tend to put up to protect ourselves.
Yes.
So,
Uh,
I guess if anything, you can trust that maybe only the Nosferatu would know.
we have lost one of our own.
Oh shit!
Uh,
When was this?
one of the Toreador amongst our number. Live.
Oh shit! No kidding.
Yes.
Liv, she's a
A
sniper
firecracker
girl.
with a gun. Yeah.
Yeah. A sniper
Yes.
girl.
Yes. Yes. And it may have been my fault.
Why would it have been your fault?
Myself and Liv and another coterie member took for one of their ideas, and we were ambushed by a gang. I think.
Uh huh. Yeah, I heard about that. That was over in the at that underpass and near the
Yes.
reservoir, right?
Yes.
Where a big spray painting show was happening.
I took their van and I got one of us out besides myself, and I didn't know where Liv was, and I didn't wait, and she didn't return. I had have waited or had have gone looking for her.
Had you waited or had you gone looking for her, you'd end up dead too. The Manarchs get up to some nasty business, kid. You really should not be going into that territory unless you're well prepared.
It was a blow.
Shit.
I've had a few forays into their territory, but
You're
nothing,
pushing your luck, kid.
nothing like that. Nothing like that. Another of our number was almost blown up. Explosive planted into their body. And I am concerned that our coterie is beginning to fracture. And I'm not quite sure what to do about it.
Well, that's tricky, isn't it? 'Cause if you were to go up to Prince Calhoun and tell him that, you can't maintain, that might look bad.
Just I've already had one interaction in the court this evening. I do not need more. And that is something that I would rather leave to Dana. That is Dana's foray.
She might have an easier time of actually making it, sound less failure like.
Yes.
Because I've been rooting for you this whole time, kid, and I want you to do good because you have been extremely helpful in all of the time since you've been embraced in maintaining these warrens, helping build extra tunnels. You've always known exactly where to dig and to not dig for structural safety, and we have obviously greatly appreciated that. I am not exactly the smartest when it comes to that kind of thing, and you seem to have a knack for it. So, some things pass along with from sire to childer that the sire didn't actually possess, and I'm very grateful.
Yes.
But wow.
It has become a rough path. I haven't felt like this since I was a mortal. It's not somewhere I had ever thought myself. How I keep thinking to myself that there must be something more that I can do to bolster. But it seems I feel as if we are we're trying to block an unstoppable object. I can't quite work out which direction the Anarchs are going to come from next.
Yeah, that's the fact that they're getting past your defenses.
I don't even know if they're coming through our domain or if they're coming around it.
And from what I understand, Liv was pretty knowledgeable about a lot of things in that area, actually. She knew the ins and outs of a lot of different things about there. And I don't think she made a note or shared it with anyone, really.
She told me very specifically that it had been quiet, and that's what was making her nervous. She took care of the upper part, and I took care of the underneath. And yet, half of our defenses are now.
A single kindred can only do so much.
Yes. There's only so much time in a night.
Damn. Well, what's your take on all of it, Rodney?
Whatever is coming is not good. And I don't think that any of us are prepared.
What gives you that impression?
A combination of things. Watching what's going on. Hearing others talk. Seneschal herself. Conversation with her this evening has
You.
shaken me. Yes.
You had a conversation with Seneschal Howell.
Yes.
She doesn't usually talk to very many people. She's usually just seen listening to people.
Well, she knew of Liz's passing before I had even said anything. Liv.
Malkavians are pretty kooky.
He was quite perturbed.
A perturbed Seneschal Howell sounds like a bad time. I think I recall an instance where back during the SWAT invasions, there was maybe a time when things got a little too under her skin, and she removed herself from court for, I think, a year.
Yes, she mentioned that other kindreds passing within the city caused her a great deal of discomfort. And the blame was laid squarely. The loss of one of the city's heroes is laid directly at our feet. And that is not something that I could deny. I am in the conversation. I've been thinking it for a while. There is nothing is. I'm not hearing anything. There was a mess to the south in the sheriff's domain, or the hound's domain. And there's nothing happening in our domain. And I can't see anything happening in the Anarch domain. And there is no information. I can't. Whatever there is, I'm not finding it, and it is
It's
leading
frustrating.
me.
You need to know that secret, but you're not finding it. I get like that some days.
Yes. And my lack of knowledge is allowing us to die off. Dropping like flies hit with bug spray.
So what do you intend to do about it?
I don't know. I'm trying to piece it all together, and it's not clicking. It's not.
Well, maybe it's not so much that you need to solve the puzzle. Maybe it's just stop the rest of the puzzle from crumbling.
How do I
You
get
reinf-
ahead of the problem?
Well, you make sure that the rest of the pieces are glued down. Have you ever worked with a puzzle and ever wanted to glue it down? You wanted, but if you try and lift it without having glued it, then it's just gonna fall to pieces, and that seems to be what's going on at the moment, right? Because trying to lift things without having glued them down, you gotta glue them down first, Rodney.
Lower them down.
All the pieces need to be reinforced. Does that make any sense?
Reinforced. Yanto,
Hmm.
yes. I dislike spreading an idea. What is the chance of someone betraying the Camarilla?
Lots of. Well, I wouldn't say lots. But those who betray the Camarilla usually have a very good reason for doing so. And when they do, they're very quiet about it until the very end or whatever. Or they get caught.
Yes.
So.
My coterie mates and I have been throwing about the idea that there may be somebody turning a blind eye intentionally.
Well, there's the Hound, that serves the domain, south of you. He's Spencer Quinn. He's always been very good at his job as long as I've known him. But he's also Bruja, so I get a little twitchy. Because you never know if a Bruja's gonna end up, rebelling against the prince or whatever. But if that were to happen, he'd probably be the first to lose his head.
What about from the other clans?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things. The other person who's maybe been at Spencer Quinn's side this entire time, aside from our good sheriff himself, has been Ariana Schultz.
Schultz.
She's kind of been kind of I don't know what you would call a subordinate to a hound, but she's been kind of training under Spencer Quinn.
Does Rodney know that name?
Intelligence politics.
I feel like he should know that name. Intelligence politics, huh?
Yep. Come to think of it, you haven't really seen a person named Ariana Schultz in the several times that you've been to court. Or you don't know, or you can't put a face to a name. It's just when you say the name to yourself, no face really appears in your mind as to who that might be.
How long has Miss Schultz been with our kind?
Not very
Do you
long.
know?
Not very long at all. She's La Sombra.
Sombra.
The Sombra.
She hasn't been in the city for very long, to be sure. She's kind of a, I don't know. It's hard to say exactly because she came with some really good references and things like that. Because the prince doesn't just assign someone to the Hound.
What is she? A part of a coterie somewhere?
Well, she's primarily with Spencer Quinn.
Primarily with Spencer Quinn.
She doesn't really have a coterie outside of him. But she's been here, since the years are all running together. It's somewhere in the 90s.
And do you by chance know who her sire was?
Does he know who her sire was?
Or if she was even sired in this city?
She was no, she wasn't embraced here. She was embraced somewhere else. But she came with good references from New York.
New York.
What would Rodney know about New York in terms of its anarch and Camarilla balance?
You would know it is a very dominantly Camarilla city. And so coming from New York, someone is very likely astutely Camarilla. And that's certainly a long way to come to a nowhere place in Mississippi.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just going back through my notes real quick.
I don't know. I don't want to cast suspicion on anyone without any evidence.
Sometimes you don't need evidence. Sometimes you just speak the right words to the right people.
Words are not my forte.
And sometimes these problems unweed themselves.
I can only hope.
So, one thought is you could, literally tell everybody in the whole court that you suspect that there's a mole, and everybody's going to be looking to each other about it, and something probably is going to happen.
But I also feel like causing unrest may not be wise.
We're in war, Rodney. Unrest is every day.
In this case, it may be a distraction.
I find if you overthink it too much, then you're doing a lot of thinking and you're not doing a lot of doing.
Yes.
That could be a failing of our kind sometimes.
Yes.
So don't overthink it. Just do something about it.
I was also wondering if perhaps you'd heard anything about any newcomers. It's probably a silly question. We don't get much information from the Anarch territory.
As far
If
as
there has been potentially somebody by the name of
what?
Tyler.
Oh. That's an interesting name. If it is who I think it is.
Considering for some time there was apparently some rumor that I've been chasing. Somebody via that name may be in the city. Causes a little problem.
Well, it's unlikely that it's who I think it is. But it's not impossible. It's just highly unlikely. So I
If
think
you are thinking the same Tyler from Chicago, that Tyler, that is the same Tyler that I am thinking.
it's extremely unlikely. Why would she come to Jackson?
That's beyond me. But it has been rumored.
And that's probably all that is, Rodney.
Yes.
Like I said, don't overthink it. Just set your mind to doing something and do it.
Yes.
Because if you get caught up in just thinking about it, you're not going to get anything done now, are you?
This is true. This is true.
And don't need you wasting time.
Yes.
Because I would really like for you to be, around for, all of eternity. Because, that's why I embraced you and everything. So,
I would like to be around for that long too.
yeah. We
Yeah.
don't die of old age. We die of murder. So don't get murdered.
Yes. I don't plan to be among those. I plan to. Yes. I have a few ideas.
Then get to it. What you waiting around here for?
Thank you, Yonto.
I don't know what I did, but okay. You're welcome.
Stay safe.
You stay safe too.
With that, Rodney will.
Got a lot on his mind.
And I believe that is where we are going to call tonight's session. With Rodney having a new fire of you must do something lit under his ass. Malice is on the hunt for certain kindred named Cameron and Joseph. And we shall have to find out what happens to Ken. But for now, we're going to end the session there. Thank you all who have arrived as viewers to this lovely little show of ours called War in the Soul City. I appreciate everyone who rated as far as into the channel. Derek, obviously, for rating in the initial, for Minstrel's Tale. Yeah, Minstrel's Tale for rating 2. And you guys are always so very welcome here. And thanks to Ravenstar for gifting 2 subs earlier on in the show. So, thank you guys. You guys are great. So, how do we feel about today's show?
Emotional bleed is real.
Oh, no.
I am still reeling from Kenny's scene, okay?
Uh...
I love you, but fuck you.
We will have a discussion about, all of that later on. But But yeah, that's tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for playing and for being here and all of that stuff. So, Black Wolf sadly had to go to bed, so I'm gonna start up the poll. But I want to get you guys talking about the show and what you guys think of what happened so far.
My brain is doing. I'm like, we're all gonna die.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Oh yes. But Max, to be fair and be honest, we kind of knew this walking into this game that none
Oh,
of
I
us were
know.
I
intended.
mean, of course, this was the prequel game for the San Antonio by Night series that we've done before, but you know,
It doesn't mean we love our characters any less.
oh, of course, of
Exactly.
course.
Just it
Hey,
still
I
makes
didn't
it
know.
like a hit. It
Mm-hmm,
hits
mm-hmm.
hard,
Yeah.
even though you know it's gonna happen. It's like, oh no,
Right, right.
my
And
soul.
sometimes it hits harder when you know it's coming, but it comes in a way you're not expecting.
Mm-hmm,
Well,
mm-hmm.
yeah,
You know,
especially since we've been hit so hard in the last few sessions too. Like the
you
coteries taken
have,
quite a few
you
hits.
have.
And
Oh
they're
my
not gonna stop
god.
coming. They're not
And,
stopping anytime soon. It's going to keep coming.
Yep,
yeah,
that's gonna keep
one poor
train
Rodney
wreck.
is just sitting here like it's it's hitting harder and faster than he can really process.
Malice is struggling to maintain what control he does have.
Thantos is right. It's a World of Darkness game. There are no happy endings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm well aware of that.
But yeah,
But sometimes survival is the only thing we're looking for.
it's true. It's true. It's probably the only thing that you can do. But yeah, we're gonna. Oh, pardon me. We're gonna get started into some of this experience stuff. So first of all, who regained some willpower today by fulfilling a desire or by doing something toward their ambition?
Nope.
Did, and I started on my ambition
Ooh, which is
to remove Joseph from the fucking board, to hunt him down and make sure that is the end of him. And I started on that, but I did complete my
uh,
desire of talking to Mercy.
right. You did talk to Mercy, so you can.
I'm not saying that I'm taking steps in the direction of.
Right. You haven't made that first step yet, but you're on the way towards it. But yeah. What about Rodney or Ken?
I mean, unless you're gonna count his job for what's his face as working towards the ultimate haven. Not
Mm, mm, yes and no.
yes.
Of course, it is.
Yes, it is. It is. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Did Ken
Oh,
work
my
towards his
soul.
desire or towards an ambition?
No,
No.
he kind of took a left turn
Oh no.
earlier this session.
BB. BB. Well, we don't have any stains to issue or to resolve, so that's good. Congrats. You guys are all still as humane as you have been. And so we move on to experience. Now, we do this very similarly to the way that Derek does his in his Edmonton game, where, first of all, everybody at the table gets one for showing up. Yeah, welcome.
We love you.
Thank you.
And then we
We love
have
us.
I love you guys too. You guys are great. Now we have 4 extra experience for those. We kind of deliberate for 3 over who had the best scene, who had moved the plot the furthest, and who had the best line. And that 5th is why the poll is up there in the chat. Is the audience vote? You guys get to choose who your favorite of the show was today. Doesn't matter what reason, just throw your votes in and use as many channel points or as many bits as you like to influence the vote however you want, because that is an option. Buying your way to the top is encouraged. So, who out of our cast members that we deliberate with moves our plot?
I'm going to say
Me.
Kenny or Malice. Kenny or Malice. Kenny, because Kenny either dying or not dying is going to fuck everything up. And Malice because he's like full on like charging headfirst in here. So I'm not sure who to give it to. It's one of those two.
What you think, Mother?
I don't know. Like, I agree with Mox. It could be either or. So I'll leave it to Mojo to decide.
Mojo?
I was saying Malice is leading this on the whole. Malice is charging headfirst into this.
Malice it is then. That's the deciding vote.
Yep.
You guys were wishy-washy. Malice decided. Malice gets it.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
we
fine.
know.
I'm fine with that.
That's how that works. So who had our best scene?
oh my God!
Oh, we had so many good ones.
I can't decide. My vote is for all 3 of us. We all had very instrumental scenes,
It's very
very
personal stories
emotional
today, yeah.
scenes. Whether Kenny survives or not, that's a very emotional scene that he had with Asako. The scene that Rodney had with Yanto, and hell, the scene that Rodney had in court, and then there's Malice with both Don Mangini and with Caitlin.
Mm-hmm.
All of those scenes just very gripping, and I cannot choose. I don't. My brain is torn. I want to vote for me, but there's so much that's happening and so much going on that I can't decide.
Right, yep.
Look, I'm going to throw my vote at Kenny's suicide.
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
That
Suicide
Mojo
is
had me
painless.
bawling my
It
fucking eyes
brings
out.
on many changes,
I think
and
that
I
is
can
the
take
first.
or leave it if I please.
I think that is
Let's not
the
give me
first
copyright,
time.
please.
Oh, I'm
I think
sorry.
that is.
I'm sorry, I didn't even think about that.
I think that is the first time that I've actually legitimately bawled my fucking eyes out in the middle of
You even got
stream.
tears out of me, you son of a bitch.
You're welcome.
That
No
was
kidding.
twice in
Like
one
I was
game for me. Yeah.
the scene with Rodney. I was still fighting off snot bubbles.
Oh God.
Like I was just like, ah.
I hope he survives. Some part of me is saying it didn't happen, but I'm gonna have to go with Mox here, and I'm gonna have to give it to Kenny.
Yeah, it was
Kenny.
just.
Kenny it is.
That's so pivotal.
Kenny it is. There you go. And who had our best line?
Oh my God.
Oh shit. I'm gonna say Malice. I can't remember exactly what the line was. When he was in the middle of talking to Liv Sire, when he was talking about what was it? When he was talking about how much Liv meant. Um, there was some really good lines in that.
Okay.
I'm I'm gonna throw my own hat into the ring for once.
Oh,
I just liked the finality of I am not Camarilla.
I love that. Ugh.
That was just like it was like
That
he
was
knew what
Ken
it meant.
Ken coming to a real decision about himself.
Yeah, and knowing what that possibly meant, it was just like a heavy, like, fuck it moment of like I know now I'm just not cut out for that.
Hmm.
Mm,
My heart.
I'm
So we've got one on the board for Ken, one for Malice.
Yep, it's up to you, Mojo.
I'm gonna give it to Ken.
All right, Ken it is.
That
Looks
that
like
that.
it
Oh
looks like the
God, the
audience
audience
poll.
vote is tied.
Oh no. Oh
It
no.
looked for a minute that it was just all Rodney, and
The
oh,
audience
it's
just can't
tied.
decide.
Coffee, you
Thank
think
you,
we
Black
could pull a
Wolf.
birthday experience for everyone? Like you do with Derek's game? I thought you had gone to bed, Black Wolf. I thought you had gone to bed.
I did too.
Instead, he spent 1,000 channel points on making it all even, silly goose. Love your face. Um, you know, you can only pull this once a year, Black Wolf. So I'm going to say yes, everybody gets it. The audience has spoken, and our mod must be praised for the god that
Oh,
he
thank
is.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Black Wolf has blessed you all as the god that he is with his birthday experience. You're welcome. Thank you, Black Wolf. Pay your boons, cast to our lovely mod.
Oh, gotta love it.
He kappa faces at me. But thank you all so much for coming by. We don't really have any shout outs today because most of these fuckers on this cast do not stream. But at some points, Derek did have to bow out for today because he wasn't feeling that great because having been up all night with shoulder pain and not getting to bed until late, he probably opted for the I'm gonna snooze. So we wish him all of the best rest, and to everyone else in the audience who's still awake for this clusterfuck that we are. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Since we don't have anybody to 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 shout out right now, we're gonna go ahead and raid the good friend of the channel, Matty Morgs at the Hero Zone, and give him some love as he's doing some painting streams. So let's go and give Maddie some love. Thank you all so much for being here, and we are going to be back next week with more War in the Soul City and maybe some art streams later on this week. We'll find out. But have a good night, everybody.